the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of double X.
Positive Power 21.org, Internet radio.
You are listening to Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
That's right, you tell him, little buddy. You're listening to Late Night. Late Night with Jerry Royce Live Worldwide and the beautiful KIMMIE Kim out of St. Louis. Welcome, everybody. We got another great show. We hope you guys had a great week. That's right. I know it's Monday. I know you had a great weekend. Not even going to ask, because I know you guys had a great weekend. We had some great games on. Great football. And we still got the playoffs with American Major League Baseball still going on. So if your team is in there, I know you're rooting hard. And it's stressful if you got a NFL team as well. And NBA. That's right. Too much sports. Too much sports. All right. We got a great guest tonight. CHERYL M. POTTS is here. KIMMIE Kim is here. If you guys listen to the testimony with Paula Brion, you probably heard CHERYL M. POTTS a few times. That's right, she's the copyright and royalty administrator and founder of her own company. And she's here to talk all about it to KIMMIE Kim. But before we let CHERYL out of the gates, that's right, so she can drop some knowledge on us, because there's a lot going on out there, y'all, especially if you're not holding in your license, if you're trying to be an internet radio station, you might be in trouble. That's right, because a lot of our podcasts and shows are airing overseas. That's right, over in 150 countries. And some of those countries, not everybody got licenses for them. That's right, they call it worldwide licensing. Yeah, I got a letter about that, email. It was interesting. All right, what's up, KIMMIE Kim? What's going on in your world? What's up?
I'm just doing good. How about you?
I am good, KIMMIE Kim. All is well. All is well in Positive Power World. Yeah. And how's the?
Just a little tired from our trip from yesterday.
You took a trip?
Just to recuperate.
Where you go? You went to go see your daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, how is she doing?
Yeah, we went to New Orleans over the weekend.
She good?
It was family weekend at Tulane, so went to see her there.
Nice. Yeah, homecoming. Are they having homecoming? They got a football team and all that stuff? Okay.
Tulane is ranked number 23 in the top 25 for colleges, and the homecoming and the parent weekend was on the same weekend. So it was the homecoming / family and parents weekend.
Good. Yeah, we got something coming up too in North Carolina A&T in about 2 weeks. They got, the Aggies, they don't play when they party. Homecoming. Hope all goes well.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna be trying.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Free food everywhere.
Yeah,
I was like, they had like the real free food, like the chicken. You can eat all the chicken you want. I mean, if you pork, everything was just free.
I believe it. Wow. Yeah.
That was nice. New Orleans style. Keep in mind, the restaurants, they donate food on behalf of for Tulane. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of good soul food restaurants there.
So you was there the whole weekend? So you was there, what, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
And Saturday, we came back Sunday.
Came back Sunday.
So, yeah, I'm recuperating.
Yeah, nice.
I'm not a young cook anymore. Oh, Jesus.
I feel you, man, because I've been doing more traveling now than I've done in a while, man, especially during the pandemic, because, of course, nobody was doing much in 2021, 22. So we did mostly everything, up until 2019. And now, people feeling a little bit comfortable about getting out. Got some cruises going on. And, Coach Crystal had a cruise. She was entertaining some pastors in the international water. Mm-hmm. So they got their international certificate as a speaker because they were overseas speaking. So that was great. So it was good to hear about that. So she's probably going to be doing this every year. So just be on the lookout for Coach Crystal Henry. That's right. You catch her TV show in Atlanta on the Cobb 25. That's right. Check out the Crystal Henry show. All right. Well, look, I'm not going to hold up the show no more. you and I could chat all night, just like Kelly and I, because we always go over. But I'm interested in hearing what Miss Potts got to share, because of course she's been on, I believe, Paula Breon's show at least 3 times, I believe, and she's always bringing interesting facts about the music industry. Because things are changing so much. Because one, and I was talking to Paula, boy, man, we could have been talking about that for hours, man. The fact that everything is changing so much because one. And this is the thing I'm so confused about. And this is my argument with the platform. And they probably listen to me right now. My argument is, okay, if you have to have a music license, right, to play music, with mainstream artists, I understand that because they all sign the record labels and they own the masters and stuff. But if you have an independent artist on your show, but all they have is distribution, digital distribution, they don't have no record label. They independent. They come on your show and you play their music, and like many of the social media platforms, especially Facebook, they will block the music. It's like you'll hear it live, but then you won't hear the playback. And then they don't give you an opportunity a lot of times to even reboot the claim. Like YouTube will give you opportunity to reboot the claim. And then they will investigate and they come back to you and say, hey, okay, it's good that you could play this music. We release it. I don't care how many times you play it, they're going to do it. But the other platforms don't do that.
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube just mean like that.
And I think
it's been that way since I started.
Yeah. Especially since everything rolled over to digital platforms. Not much going on with CDs and stuff anymore. But the main thing that they have problems with is DJ mixes. Because remember, a lot of DJs used to come on Facebook and have parties, especially during the Zoom era, when the pandemic came. People was having parties, and they were putting on social media having fun. But they had problem with the DJ. But I remember when Spreaker used to have huge Hispanic DJs. They used to have like over 100,000 people on their live. You remember that when we first got on? Back in 2014?
I know we used to do a lot of interviews live and with the music. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I was talking about like the earlier parts of Spreaker. They used to have a lot of DJs overseas. Because one thing too, if you think about some of your major cities, you don't have a lot of big FM Hispanic stations. So they don't really have nothing to really go to listen to music, Their artists, I don't even know how to even find out about their artists these days, except for music videos, I guess. But anyway, they used to have, there was several channels that were entertaining audiences over 100,000. It was crazy. But then when this whole thing came along with digital platforms and you got to have license, they can't stream people music anymore. You can't even have it in the background. And then Spreaker just stopped doing live DJ mixes. And then they just pushing, we just straight talk. But they do have a few channels where they're playing. They have some podcasters that do shows about, some of the rockers, like some of the old rock shows and stuff. And they do play music occasionally. But, they don't really have no filters to catch you, but they did catch one of our channels that was entertaining independent artists who we were getting the music from their managers, and they owned the music and the masters. They were giving us the music, and they had a problem because we started playing a lot of the stuff early in the show, and then when it was time for her show to go syndicated, and they were looking at it and everything, said, hey, man, they didn't even send me an email. They just deleted the channel. It was crazy. So anyway, but that was on their community policy rules and stuff. But, my whole argument is I didn't need a license to play their music because they okayed it. They gave me permission. And then I say, well, okay, if I do get permission, where do I upload the letter, the form? They never could tell me. So, so hopefully,
have that time.
Yeah. So hopefully, Miss Potts,
I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, Miss Potts can give us some clarity on all this stuff. So ask some good questions, okay, Kimmy Kim?
Okay.
Because you on Spreaker Radio too. You play, and you got your share of artists come on the show too, especially Beyond I forgot the name of their company, Beyond Entertainment.
Beyond the music.
Beyond Entertainment with Benson, David Benson and Shay, their show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I play a lot of their music, but they're they own it. So
I know, but this is what I'm saying, but you don't have no proof. All right, well, look, Miss Cheryl Potts, she's in the queue now. Miss Potts, how are you doing? What's going on? Welcome to Late Night with Jerry Royce Live and Kimmie Kim. How you doing? How are you?
I am doing well. I'm so excited to be here with you and Kimmie Kim this evening. Thank you for inviting me on.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I love that smooth sounding voice of yours. Sound like you can do radio too.
Would love to.
Well, look, you heard my gripe, and I hope you can answer that question during your interview process with Kimmie Kim. You know, why are they doing the independent? And I think this is just a way of the record labels pushing the independents to the ground, putting that knee on their neck. That's what I say. You know, taking.
Well, I did hear your comments regarding music and podcasts. And yes, you do need to get a license from both the music publisher and the record label to play music on your podcast. So unfortunately, you do need to get a license. You have to get a license for both. It falls underneath what we call a synchronization license because the music is usually synchronized with your audio program.
Right.
So you do need to get both licenses. And it's not because a major puts out the music. If you have an independent that comes on, they probably may give you a verbal if you're playing their music, right? They're probably, because that is a way of promotion. So they may just say, yes, you can, use my music. But if you're using music from someone else on your program, that's not necessarily someone you're interviewing, you do have to get a license for both. And a lot of companies have gotten sued in the past, so that's why they kind of like clamp down to all their content creators to make sure that they receive licenses to protect themselves.
Yeah, that was the thing, Cheryl. They never asked me to present a license. They just deleted the channel. Just like
wow.
Yeah. They just bullied me.
And it's funny because I think it was on TikTok. It may have been on TikTok, and I know that I need to get a license for any music that I played, and it may have been Instagram, but I had a video, and I did have a license from the music that I was playing in my video, and they muted it also. I'm like, well, you didn't even ask, so I get exactly what you're saying, Jerry. Because at least reach out, because you just may have a license. And in my case, I had a license, and you didn't even ask me.
Exactly. And I have licenses for 2 of my podcasts that I produce because they went to got their song produced for their show, and they sent me the license. But like I said, they don't even give you an opportunity to even present anything before they decide to go bogart your channel. So I think that's kind of shifty, and it's confusing, to us podcasters.
I agree.
Well, you was a victim as well, so
Yeah.
well, basically, I just play people that I know. I don't play people I don't know. But
yeah, I know everybody that we play. Yeah. Thousands of them. We have over 11,000 shows.
I don't know a lot of people like you. You know a lot more people than I do.
2,000 episodes just on my show alone, and everybody's been interviewed. They give us permission because they want their music played, like Cheryl said, for promotion. And they say, "Hey, I'd love you to play my." And a lot of times in my emails, you will find most of my emails are from promoters promoting their clients so we can spin their music on our show. Yeah.
But you have to make sure that the music that they have created has been also cleared, because some people may be performing a cover song, right? So cover song meaning someone else's song that was released previously, and they did a redo. So they should have had a license. So you're not going to know if they're performing a song, depending on how popular the song was, but they may have used someone else's recorded a cover song, but did not get a license.
Right.
Or I have run into people who, I only used a couple of bars, I only used 30 seconds, or I only used a minute of someone else's music. There is no time frame, and it's enough for you to use someone else's music.
Right, we don't know.
There is no 30 seconds or 4 bars. If you're using someone else's music, you must get permissions from the rights owner.
Yeah.
So that may be another issue, too.
Yeah.
If they're playing the music and they didn't clear it on your show, you may get flagged.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We really don't know what they're taking from other people's music. But a lot of times, these guys are actual writers and producers themselves. I mean, some of these guys have doctorates in music and stuff, and it's crazy. Their credentials, you know, like former big-time artists have been on our show, are now independent. You know, they're a little older, and the labels are not interested in them anymore, so they out on their own, you know. So we get those kind of artists on those. I call those, B-side artists. I guess you. Well, anyway, let me get out of here. Let you guys go ahead and do your interview. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for being on our show.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jerry. I really love you, Jerry. Thank you so much for another opportunity to be a part of the family, Positive Power 21. And how are you doing today, my sister?
I am doing well. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I love information, and thank you so much for providing the confusion, because some people do believe that, and they need to make sure that the ownership is cleared. That's good to know. But before we dig more into the music industries and the copyright laws, can you tell the listener who is CHERYL POTTS?
I am a copyright and royalty administrator for independent record labels and music publishers. A lot of people say, wow, what is that? What does she do? What does that entail? What does that mean? I work with record labels that are putting out music, a release, a new album, or an EP. And when you are putting out music, if you're putting it out yourself, you created the songs, you went in the studio, you produced your own music, and you went to Driscoll Kid or to TuneCore, you release it, you don't have a problem, right? Because you own ownership, the song and the recording, because you created both. However, when you start hiring producers and hiring other songwriters, or not hiring, but creating other songs from other songwriters, you need to get permission from everyone that's in that studio with you that may have taken a role in creating that track.
So
record labels...
Wow. I'm so sorry. I just need to ask this quick question. So basically, let's say, for instance, I wrote the song. I asked someone to play just a little, instrumental music, like maybe a guitar, and then maybe for 5 seconds. And then I created the track. The person who did the guitar, I would need to get permission from him as well if I did most of the work?
Well, it really depends. Is this a background, is this a studio musician that you may have paid? Then normally a lot of times some people will either have a quick agreement saying that you're a work for hire because you hired that person to do that, right? And you get a release that way. However, if they are in the studio with you and says, you know what, Kimmie, I think we should add this. Or I should think you should not say tune, you should say tone, If they become part of some of the creative aspect of that song, they can potentially be a co-owner of the song, meaning a co-owner of the track, or the song. Cheryl, what does that mean? What most people don't realize is every track that you release or you listen to on a streaming platform, there are two separate copyrights, Kimmie, in that one audio track. There's the underlying song, yes, the underlying song, the music and melody that's created. That is what they call a performance art copyright. If you go to the Copyright Office and register, the registration for your song generally falls underneath it's called PA type of registration for performance arts. Now, when you go into the studio and you put your headphones on, you're the artist, you wrote this song, and you have a producer add the horns, the drums, the strings. When the producer adds all this additional audio music, and when he saves that music that was recorded from you singing and the music playing, when the audio track is created, let's say an MP3 file, there is a new copyright that is created. That is the sound recording copyright. That is why when we talked earlier about you have to get a license for podcast music, and I said it has to be a synchronization license. The synchronization license technically really is for the underlying song. So the publisher, whoever created the song, would give that license. But then you have to go to the record label, because the record label most likely will own the sound recording. The sound recording meaning that audio track, that MP3 file that you hear streaming. Typically, that is owned by the record labels, and you have to get what is called a master use license. So there's two separate licenses for a synchronization license for you to be compliant with playing music in podcasts. Film and TV is also another area or type of film that you would need to have licensing for. So, and that falls underneath synchronization. Synchronization is for the song. Master use is for the actual sound recording.
Wow. And what are some of the price ranges for this if someone is listening, and how can they get the license? Where do they go? What site do they need to visit online to purchase the license?
Well, it really depends. If the independent music creator, of course, they will be the ones who will issue the license if needed. But if they're on your show and they're performing their music, a lot of times they may just tell you that giving you a permission. Now, since I heard Jerry mention that he's been contacted, I kind of feel that maybe they should put it in writing to you, and because the other entity that's contacting you, maybe the platform saying, "Hey, we need to see the permission." Then a verbal kind of he told me verbally. It's good to have it in writing. Okay. So that may be something you may want to implement further. However, for a record, depending on what track that you want to use, if it's Beyonce, you got to go to Beyonce's record label, and you got to go to Beyonce's publisher, right?
Right.
Right?
Can afford that.
Now, so you have to go there. But I built a platform called Clear Cut Royalty. This is a nice introduction, right? And there are musicians or music creators, you mentioned earlier, and it may have been Jerry that mentioned earlier, or yourself also, that there are people who may have no longer be underneath a record deal, but they're putting out their own music. I have a platform for business creators that they can quickly generate that license, the synchronization license that they created. And they, from our platform, they can generate the synchronization license and the master use license very quickly within seconds and be able to send it off to you or whoever has a need that's using their music. Otherwise, you have to go to the publisher or record label. But if you create your own music, you, the creator, since you own it, if you're not signed with a label who would do that work on your behalf, or a publisher, again, do that work on your behalf, they should be issuing the license.
Okay. And what are some of the penalties or punishment that a radio station may find themselves in if they don't get the proper license or permission?
So for radio stations, all right, so let me step back. Anyone that uses music without the proper permission of contacting the copyright owner or the owner of the music, a rights owner, they can be sued for copyright infringement. Copyright infringement can start anywhere from $30,000 up to $150,000, and it depends on. It could be multiple depending on how many times the song or track has been infringed upon. There are some certain rules in order to get that amount of potential reward. You have to have your song or track registered with the Copyright Office. A lot of people think, oh, I should register my song or I should register my track because it will be copyright protected. That is not true. As soon as you put your song or track in a fixed format, meaning as soon as you save it to your computer or write it down on a piece of paper, it's automatically protected by copyright law. Okay. However, we encourage people to register with the Copyright Office because when someone infringes on your right, on your music, the first step in suing someone for copyright infringement is you have to have the song or track registered with the Copyright Office. So I always recommend, if you're releasing music, to go ahead to have it protected or registered around the time that you're going to release, maybe before or certainly shortly thereafter you release. So you'll be ready in case someone infringes on your music. You'll already have it registered with the Copyright Office.
Wow. I just love listening to this information. It sounds like a big passion of yours. How did you get into this business of copyright administrator? I mean, why? What got you here? What was the reason? And are you having fun? Because you sound like you are having fun, and this is your purpose. I love it. And what was the reason behind of you joining or having a company that is focuses on copywriting for independent artistry?
Well, I was introduced to music many, many, many years ago. Actually, my ex-husband at the time, he was a drummer, and him and I were in New York. I was been in New York for 20 years or plus, and he's born and raised in New York. Yeah, I love New York. I'm a true New Yorker. Excuse me?
You live there now? I love New York.
No, I'm not there now, but I do. I consider it my home. I'm a Jersey girl, grew up in New Jersey, but I lived in New York City for 20 plus years, but I call it my home.
It is your
But he was, yes. He was a drummer, and he would, for many years, was part of a band. And so they would go around and play at all these different places around New York City and some of the clubs and places like that. But eventually he went back to school. But he always stayed around music. So the people in the band, most of them, they all went back to school, but they also performed on the side. So he would always, later on, went into what is called artist management, because he had to always be around music. And one of the singers who was the lead singer in the band years ago, she went on to become a lawyer, but she was working in Wall Street. But so when he became an artist manager, she became his lawyer. So he stayed in contact with them. So I wanted to participate. I love music, Kimmie. I love music, but I cannot sing a lick. So when he had artists that he was managing, I said I wanted to, also join his team. So I started off learning how to register the songs with the ASCAP, BMI, or CSAT, whoever that they were, the artist was affiliated with. And then I learned how to register the songs with the Copyright Office. So I always picked up books and read books, and always was trying to learning and reading and online, teaching myself about doing these different type of tasks. And later, there was a artist that came to him, my husband at the time, that he was a gospel artist, and he has written songs from all of these different top artists and other labels. But he was like, I haven't gotten any money. I haven't gotten my royalties, and people are using my music, but they never sent me the paperwork.
Oh, wow.
But my husband at the time, he's like, I'm not into gospel music, because he was the people he was managing were mostly R&B or pop at the time.
Okay.
So later when I decided that I wanted to maybe start a music publishing company, something on the side, because I really, really liked it, I went back and asked this particular artist, would he sign on with me? Because my husband at the time, he's like, I'm not doing it. And then he gave up his business because, he wanted to concentrate on his career, and I still wanted to do something on the side. But the artist said to me, Cheryl, look, I've been around much, much longer than you. I am not going to give up my publishing, which when you give up your publishing, you're not only giving up the royalties, you're also giving up your copyrights, your ownership in the song. And yes, so a standard publishing agreement, you are assigning your full copyright to the publisher. So you no longer have the rights. The publisher has it. And if you know anything about copyrights ownership, the ownership lasts 70 years after the death of the author. So if you have 4 people create a song, then after the last person that passed away, then the clock ticks 70 years. So a long time, more of the story.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that.
Yes. So he says, I'm not giving up my publishing. So he said, but I do need help. I do need someone that can, get my royalties, because a lot of people are using my music. And he had some big names. I'm not going to go into the names, but he has some big names. So I said to him, okay, well, if I get your royalties due to you, would you sign on? He says, yes, but I'll sign on and you can become my administrator. So administrators in the music business for publishing, a lot of people hear the term publishing administrator. People, you hear song trust and all of these other terms, publishing administrator. Publishing administrators they act as music publishers, so they issue all of the licenses. They register all of your songs. They register with the Copyright Office. They issue all the licenses. They make sure that your catalog, if there needs to be cleaned up, meaning there may be, with the PRO, they may have some of the songs that were registered previously may have been registered, because anyone else can register. The splits may not be correct. They, publishers also, some of them may do song plugging, meaning they may try to find work for you, work meaning license the song, or try to get your song on films. Some publishing administrators do that and some do not. But the main thing is they do not share in the ownership of the copyright, meaning in this particular case, the songwriter said to me, since I'm coming out as a publishing administrator, I would not own any of his copyrights. I will take my 10, 15, or 20% of the royalties that's coming in, but I won't own any of his copyrights. So I started, so he started referring a lot of people to me because why? I got him his money, his back money. I issued the licenses. And, because, Kimmie, a lot of people just don't know. They don't know. So the people that were putting out his music, I want to believe they just didn't know either, right? So they did. They asked
did they collect money? Did they get money on?
They were getting money. Yeah, they were. I have a platinum album right now from a girl. There's a girl that came to me. He referred to me that the record label totally ignored her when she's saying, "You're using my song," and she hired me as the administrator to collect the royalties on the song. And I went after them, and it was a platinum album. So this happens. But I want to, in the faith business, I want to believe that maybe they just don't know, because I don't want to believe that they're taking advantage of people, but you don't know.
So.
Right, because Judas sat at the table with Jesus, you know what I mean? So, that's my line all the time.
I love the fact that they have you to protect them, because you're going after, what's really theirs, and you're being fair and understanding and having compassion for the ones who don't know. I really like that about you, because it sounds like you love what you're doing, and not only you're protecting people who, it takes a lot to create a song and make it, sound right, and putting the tracks and all the lyrics together. It takes a lot of time. And just for someone to take that right and not give the artist their credit that they are needing, that they deserve, because they are the reason why the song is here. And I really believe that is unfair and unjust. So thank you for protecting those artists, because everyone really don't know. I just learned something new today. Wow, interesting. But I know, there are so many different social media platforms that do now tend to protect the major artistry, the Beyoncés. Do you see them in the future doing the same for the independent artists as well? Because I really believe they should be protected.
Well, I'm going to tell you a couple of little things. First of all, you will be surprised that how many people who are music creators love to get in the studio, love to get out and perform, but they don't handle their business. and they'll put all their money in for creating their EP or creating their album, working with producers, getting the artwork. But when it comes time to managing their own rights of the music, they don't know. They don't want to know. They rather someone else handle it for them. And some people are being taken advantage of. I have had speaking engagements where at let's say a conference where there was a topic on copyrights and royalties and how to protect yourself. And, some of these conferences, they have several different other topics in other rooms. How to get a record deal, how to get on the radio. I've had 5 or 6 people show up in my room, and in the other rooms, there's no more seats and standing only. And some people just don't want to handle their own business, which is a shame because these are the same people who won't hire an attorney when they get a contract hired to them, and then get mad because they stole they took all of my royalties or took all of my, I got a bad deal. And that's because people it's very easy. $9.99, you can, upload a track, or $20 an album, but won't sit down and learn about the business side because this is a business. They don't call it music business for nothing.
Exactly.
Right?
So what advice would you give someone? I'm so sorry. You just got so much information, and I'm just puzzled right now because you are making so many good points. So what kind of advice would you give someone who wants to be a writer and an artist, and they don't know the first step to become one? What would you suggest to them when it comes to entering the music industry? Because, like you said, a lot of people don't know.
Well, what you just asked is more of the creative side, right? So I think that how the best way to really get in the industry, I would either hang around with a bunch of producers. I know a young lady, she's a really great songwriter. She's out in Vegas, and she's been hanging around with producers. So producers will call her in, hey, let's sit down and write a song together, or she has a nice voice, and she'll go in there and sing some of the songs. You have to be around the people that's creating the music to maybe, have them listen to a song that you created, or certainly to be able to do a demo track and someone may like it and walking into a Beyonce or walking into a Carrie Hilton or whatever, right? You have to really network. This is a networking business, and you have to be out there. You should be out there at places that are performing, maybe your local, a lot of bands may play at a local restaurant.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that people may perform, right? You have to be in it.
Okay.
There's a famous saying in New York, if you want to win the lotto, you got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right? You got to play. So you have to be around and hang around these people to be able to, get your shot. But you also need to do your homework and pick up the books, to learn about the business side, learn how to register your songs with the Copyright Office, learn how to decide whether you're going to ask at BMI. CSAP is kind of private, but, join one of the performance rights organizations technically, a lot of times they said that you don't need to register your song until it's released with the performance rights, because that's what they do. They track radio, they track TV when your music is out there. Now, if your music is not released, then there's really nothing for them to track. Learn about, there's several organizations like the MLC, the Mechanical License Collective, that you register with them also to collect your royalties for interactive streams. And if you're also an artist, then you're putting out your own music, then you register with the Sound Exchange as an artist. And if you own your tracks as a copyright owner, a sound recording owner.
It's so much.
So
It's a lot. This is how you break it down, detail, because it's, you just hear the music. You don't see like the details from the blueprint. You see the house, but there are so many different elements that it took to get to the house. Just like with music, like you just detailed in everything. You don't think about that when you're listening to music. You're amazing. Like, wow, that is a lot.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, indeed. And that's why I had started Crystal Clear Music, and I still have people that are coming to Crystal Clear Music and ask us to work with them on their releases. But, Kimmie, I had to do the licensing and the royalty accounting. I generate the statements for the royalty accounting, and if I'm within some of my clients, they have 7, 8, 9 albums out because they've been with me so long. I had to develop a program in order for me to generate these statements because it was taking so long from spreadsheets. And so,
how do you keep track of them? How do you know what radio station is playing, when they're playing? How do you know all of that? Don't you have to?
Yes. Well, the record labels that I've worked with, many of them hire independent radio promoters. And so either I or they, because for administration for my label, sometimes I'll do the registration for media base, right? Which is what the radio promoters need to look at the tracking of what's playing, what's hot in certain areas across the country. Radio, playing the music on radio is really, really important, which is where I find that a lot of independents fail on because they think, oh, I'm just going to put music out and I'm going to make $1 million. Well, if no one hears your music, no one's going to play your music. No one's going to buy your music. That's why it's so important for radio play to have people hear the music. Even podcasts is becoming very important, especially if they are artist friendly and they're playing the music. Even social media. One night I was listening. I was on Instagram. And this artist posted, this is a new track. It's getting ready to drop. It just dropped today. I loved it so much I bought it. I still buy downloads, by the way. So,
wow.
So you have to promote your music. You have to have it out there where others can hear your music, because otherwise nobody's going to buy your music. No one's going to stream your music because they never heard of it.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. That is so true. Yes. And that's when you come into play. Well,
okay, so we come into play in many, many different ways. I have Crystal Clear Music as a company that I started in 2004, so we're over 19 plus years. But I had to
for that.
Thank you. And I still have clients. Can you believe it? I still have clients.
Oh, I believe it. That's for your business.
Yes. Yes. But I started, I'm also, Kimmie, my other side job, I'm a hustler. My other side job was a software engineer. I've been a software engineer over 20 plus years, building enterprise software for companies. So when I had a need to automate my royalty accounting and my music licensing, I set out and designed a platform for others to be able to manage their own music. So that platform is called Clear Cut Royalty. People go use Clear Cut Royalty, and all of the administration that I do, you can do also. I needed a platform
for this wonderful platform. Tell them how they can sign up for it, because people need that so they can be able to track their own royalties. Yeah.
They definitely need Clear Cut Royalty, and I have training sessions that I give with them, and then I'm also opening what is called they just went off my head, where you'll be able to contact me at any point for assistance with administration. So if you're a record label, independent record label, I have services, onboarding services that assist you in getting up and running, assist you in helping you get your licenses, assist you in making sure that your royalties reports are set up, assisting you in creating those agreements if you need to, that's in the system. We pretty much, everything that I do, you're able to do in the system yourself. But because a lot of people don't know about how to run their label administration side, so I don't do marketing, so I don't do promotion. But
you don't need to. Word of mouth is word of mouth.
So Clear Cut. So right now, Clear Cut Royalty is going through, so I'm redoing some revamping of the platform, because what I found was, while people are releasing music, they were like, "CHERYL, but I did a cover song," and I would send them to another place to go get their cover song license. Where if you're with Crystal Clear Music, I would obtain those licenses. So right now, I'm in the process of merging the two. So when you come to our platform, you not only will be able to have the platform to do the work for you, but you'll get assigned an administrator to help you and assist you in your administration of your music. In addition to, if you have a sample clearance, you need a sample clearance, we'll do that for you also. You need a cover license, we will do that for you also. Of course, the services will be an additional small fee, but we will be able to administer just like your major, just like your Universal Music or your Sony Music, putting out music, because we not only have the platform for you to do your own administration, but we help you to make sure that you get all set up to get all your royalties. And we will also help you if you need your clearances, if you use samples, if you need a cover license, if you need your copyright registrations with the Copyright Office. We will assist you to make sure that your full release is compliant with copyright laws, and that you're paying your artists, that you're paying your songwriters, because once it's set up in the system, you can just automate it. It's all automated, that you just add your new distribution statements that you have and click a button and generate those reports and be compliant. Pay your artists, pay your songwriters, pay your producers with just a quick click of a button.
That's amazing. So how can they reach out to you to gain these services if they are interested?
Sure. They can contact me at administrator at clearcutroyalty.com. And that's the full word, administrator, ADMINISTRATOR, at Clearcut, CLEERKUTROYALTY.com. And I'll be more than happy to discuss any administration questions that anyone has, assist them in any way that I can to assist them with any issues that they may have, administration issues that they may have, or answer any questions.
Good question.
And yes, I'm very passionate about what I do.
I love what you do because not only are you seeing people making music in the United States, but worldwide, and it's easy to really find them on social media. So how can you also service those overseas?
Absolutely. My platform right now is, like I said, we continue to add additional features in our platform. Right now, we have an integration with ASCAP and BMI. We're going to finish the U.S. performance rights organizations with CSAC and other. There's a couple more. I want to say Global Music is another PRO. But there are other countries outside of the United States that we want to complete our technology of registration. There is an area, I have met with a couple of people from Nigeria that also was looking at the platform. So once I have everything kind of like complete on this side, then we'll go set up our integration with the PRO organizations in the different countries and to be able to assist them and onboard them also. Our payment processor is worldwide, so they're able to use their credit card and their currency because our payment processor that does the subscription, is worldwide, so it accepts all different currency. So we will be able to assist them. And then also, I have some of my developers are out in India. India also is another area that's really, really springing up for music. So I already have my developers. We're talking about making some changes also and to service that market. So we are going market by market, but yes, music is worldwide. And what we do is worldwide in terms of rights management. In many, many different countries, there is what is called the Berne Convention, which many, many different countries have joined, that says that we all agree that artists or creators have a right to their works. So similar laws, not exactly as the United States, but very similar laws on terms of protecting your rights of the authors, of the creators of their music.
Okay.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And just a few more questions. I could just go on and talk to you because I love this information that you're giving us, and it's helping those who are currently in the music industry and those who are thinking to join. And I thank you so much for this valuable time and information. What are some of the common mistakes that you see or have seen in the past or currently that most artists do make when it comes to copyright?
Well, one of the things is I cannot believe that some people still feel that they can write a song and put it in an envelope and mail it to themselves and put it in a drawer and say that they are protected by, it's called the poor man's copyright. And
Wow.
have you heard of that before?
I have never heard of that one. That's a good one. That's laughing.
Yes, it's
Wow.
the poor man's copyright. Well, I'm here to tell you that it ain't gonna work, because the purpose of mailing the envelope so you can show that you own it, you create it. Well, guess what? If someone infringes on your song and you want to say that you own it and you want to sue for infringement, the first thing you have to do, what? Is register with the Copyright Office. So it means absolutely nothing that you mail it to yourself, that you're not protecting yourself, because it has to be registered with the Copyright Office in order to sue someone. And another benefit of registering is a public display of who the author is, who is that creator of the song. Another thing that I still hear quite often is people saying that, oh, I only use 30 seconds, I only use 20 seconds. And no, there is no certain set amount for you to use someone else's work and put it in your work and think that you're clear. There is no certain amount. So people have to get permission from when you're using someone else's music.
Oh, it's KIMMIE dropped, Cheryl, but actually we out of time. She forgets this is only a 45-minute show.
That's fine.
Yeah, because other radio shows do use these programs, and a lot of times we want to slide it for an hour. But I really appreciate you coming on, and you gave us some really, really good information. And I'm glad you talked about overseas, because we have a lot of African listeners, and a lot of the musicians, you know, they're very fond of the gospel artists that we have on our show, and they learn so much from them. So, and they do distribute their music to us a lot of times too, their music video, which is another, we got to have you back, because then we got to talk about the other side of it, and that's in television and films, because I don't have any of these problems with the television cable networks, and I think it's because they cover it. Correct.
Yes, and are you on a certain time for this in Africa, like in Nigeria and the different markets? Because that is, soon as I complete several other features in my platform, I am planning on branching out. And again, like, I've met a couple of people from Nigeria, and it's really, really important to them about protecting their music. And I really, really would love to, teach or get the word out on how to protect their music too, and help them.
Oh yeah, quite a few artists. Lagos, Nigeria, they all over the place. But they're big listeners of this show, because they are regulars. They send us music every time they release something. They send us music videos because they want to have it aired on U.S. television. So very interesting stuff. Also confusing because of all this international stuff, as well as all these organizations that are distributing the funds, the payments to the artists. And then at the same time, you do have some stations, I think they have some of these new rating companies that are, keep count of their listenership and all kinds of stuff. So it is kind of confusing for us, especially some of the podcasts, because a lot of these guys are growing. They're really, really expanding. We were one of them. Mm-hmm. And so it is, that was one of the biggest things that the platform was talking to me about. They say, yeah, your show is really reaching overseas, and you're going to have to start looking at global licensing if you're going to play this music. So I talked to one of my podcasters last night, because he plays his own music on his show. And, he's a pastor and an artist. And I explained it to him. He was a little disappointed, but because he does produce music videos, and we do air on, we have like 7 television shows we produce in New York and Atlanta. He was so happy about that he didn't let this be a discouragement. So that was good.
Great.
Yeah. But it's, it's a shame, because the reason why we do this show and built this platform, because we wanted to help people like authors and artists, get their products out there to people who don't know anything about them, because they don't have the marketing budget to do the expensive television.
Sure.
Because I know what
Sure.
it costs. Just to do a television show here on community television in Baltimore, it's like $800 a week. You know?
Wow.
Right, I know. That's why I'm so grateful for, the platforms that I am on. Even the markets are a little smaller, like in North Carolina, but the stations are expanding by taking, moving in Cablevision into more counties, because a lot of development is going on in Durham and Raleigh. So, we're starting to see them build, So especially when you're talking about Spectrum and Comcast and all them are really expanding their reach to more subscribers. So, yeah.
So check this out. I'm in Rockville,
Are you?
Maryland.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm right
I just
outside.
came back. Huh?
I'm right outside of DC. I'm actually on the other side of BWI Airport. So they're on they're more, I guess, east. No, more south. I'm sorry. And I'm more north.
I'm closer to D.C., but I'm definitely, I was in Nashville for a little while, but I'm going to stay in this area. I have family here in Maryland and Virginia.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to let you know I'm close back.
Yeah, you're close.
Because I was in Nashville.
Yeah, you are close. But we really appreciate you coming on. And, of course, it's like these platforms can go on forever, But we'll talk, though. We might be able to do some business with you or something, to be able to.
All right, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you having me on. I really do. Thank you so much.
Very welcome. All right, everybody.
All right.
Kimmie Kim didn't come back into the queue. I guess her phone ran out of juice. But we appreciate her hosting the show. And Cheryl, again, thank you for the information. And of course, we got to have you back. And I know Paula, she's the same way. She said, so much stuff we got to know. And of course, independents don't have the lawyers and the management, because a lot of times when they were like her and they were letting these people do the work, they didn't really worry about it. And plus, it was different times. So, so it's great to have you. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, thank you for joining us right here on Positive Power Late Night with Jerry What's Live and Kimmie Kim.
All right, bye-bye.
Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of double X.
Positive Power 21.org Internet Radio.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
Thank everybody for joining us on Facebook, YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget you can join us Thursday starting at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Kelly Holland. That's right, Late Night with Jerry What's Live and Kelly Holland. It's a very enjoyable show, so come back and join us. We got another spectacular guest, so share the file, y'all. Share. All right, we see you soon. Don't forget Tuesday starting at 8, we got Dr. B transforming Lives Bible Radio Show. Amen. Take care, everybody. See you soon.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.